Alright guys, today I want to walk you through just a quick setup of how I get to this point with a track from multitracks.com. So basically what I do is I start with a template, I download the tracks from multitracks.com, and I also download an original track here as well. So what we'll do first is we'll open up a blank template, which I've got listed here is multi-track template. And as you can see, I've got a tempo track in here. I've got a couple placeholders, and we'll go into those here in a second. So the first thing that we're going to do is here in the tempo track, we know that the tempo for this upcoming song is going to be 69.5. So we're going to type in 69.5 right down here in the bottom left-hand corner. We hit return, we'll see that that's 69.5, and then as a reference point up here in my tempo track, I'm going to rename this from tempo 90 to tempo 69.50. Then I also put in the time signature, right, so that I can tell at any point in time what that tempo of that track is, just kind of at a glance. Okay, and what this tempo track does, you can see that it's warped. It's also set as a master. This will determine what your tempo of the song is, which is up here at the top left. That way we can put them all together in one arrangement view, and it will automatically switch those templates. Okay, let's start pulling in tracks, and I'll show you how easy it is, especially once we have a template such as this one. So first we're going to come in here. End of days is the one that we're going to do, but we're honestly going to do it in A flat. So I believe this one is my A flat, and it is. Pull this down here. So we'll just drag this down here where it says drop files and devices here. And it'll load in all of the files, as you can tell. Go ahead and collapse that side there so that you can see what I'm working on. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this click track and the guide track, and I'm going to put it in one place up here. And so the reason that we do that, and you can tell it's still loading in my files here, but the reason we do that is so that when we load it into the session file, it's all in one place and we kind of know what's going on. So I'm going to highlight the click track. I'm going to highlight also the guide track by holding down the shift button. And I'm going to simply Command X that and just cut that out of there. And then up here in the click track, I am going to go to the beginning of the track here by pressing the 1 button, and I'll show you how I've got that mapped as well. And then I'm going to Command V that. So what I've done is I've set up some, in this template track, I've set up some quick shortcuts to help me get around just a little bit. So one of those shortcuts is the 1 button will take me to this first warp marker, or this first playhead marker. And how I've done that is I've gone up here to the right and I've clicked on key, and you can see that this is set to 1. So I added a location, a locator, and I put that all the way to the beginning, and I named it count off. And then when I hit key, I can actually click on that, and then I can press one of my number buttons and it'll go straight there. So that makes it easy to line everything up the way I need it to, especially when I'm setting a lot of this stuff up. Right, enough of that boring stuff. What I'm going to do next is delete these 2 tracks, again holding down the shift button, and then clicking on both of them, then hitting delete. Next, I'm going to take all of the loops that come with this, all of the tracks, and I'm going to drag them up here above where I've got my Erase Me track. The Erase Me track is just a placeholder. So once those have moved up, I can actually delete that. Now I've got this set up to where it'll actually group all these tracks together. so that I don't have to see all these tracks all the time. I can expand them if I want to, but I can also have it nice and clean for whenever I need that. So we will actually rename this to the name of the song, hitting Command R, and we will type in End of Days, because that's the track that we're going to do today. And we're going to collapse that again. We shouldn't need those tracks anymore, but we're also going to make sure that this tempo track is dragged all the way out to the outside. That way everything is warped to this same tempo. So 69.5. You can see that just kind of moves in together. For this track, because it's kind of in double time, I'm going to make my fixed grid down to half, and that'll make it just a little bit easier for us. And I just know that because I've worked with this track before. And you can see that they perfectly line up here on the end, right? So that's it for the tempo track. I'm going to also show you how I throw in the original track here. So I've already pre-downloaded that original track. And what I can do is I can go under here under original tracks, and then I can just simply do a search up here. So I've got a couple of them in there, and we'll find the one in E flat. We'll pull that down into this original track area. Now here's where it gets tricky. So right now I've got it set my fixed grid to half. Generally your tracks will not start at the same time that, or your original track will not start at the same time that your other tracks do, which kind of makes things a little bit difficult. So bear with me here. We're gonna figure out where all of this fits into place. We're gonna actually turn off the fixed grid, and it's gonna be a little trial and error. And what I like to do is I kind of like to zoom in a little bit, because each one of these boxes, these grayed out boxes, will be where one of our downbeats are. So let's go ahead and start this off in the beginning. Go through the count off.
2, 3, 4.
You kind of hear that those are off a little bit, but as you hear this come in right after the 4, you can hear that the first thing that comes in with the tracks, it's probably kind of
4.
faint, is the same thing.
4.
Same thing that you have here in this track. So, I can probably, let's go ahead and warp this so it's set to that same tempo. It's probably a safe bet to be able to pull this one over, and then right where this line is here, we can set that at about where that guy is. Sometimes just a little bit before. And then what we'll do is we'll move over here and we'll make sure that these are right. So right over here.
Intro.
Right?
All in.
It's pretty close. What we'll do is we'll slide this over to the right just a little bit.
Verse.
That actually sounds really good. Now, the reason why I have original track in there is I can actually turn that on for my band. If we happen to get lost in the middle of a track or during practice, we can figure out what is being sung there, because those are not incorporated in the original tracks that we download from multitracks.com. So from here, the next thing that we want to do is our markers. So I have a place for markers. And what we'll do with the markers is we'll just kind of drag these out to where each one of these things start. And then I'll show you how I kind of label those things. So I can actually click here where it says count off, and I can hit Command D as one of my shortcuts, and it will duplicate this. We won't worry about renaming these yet, but what we can do is we can drag these out, and you'll get the gist of this as I kind of move these around. And you can see now why I've got these set to a fixed grid of half. Drag these out. This is the boring part. Let's listen to this real quick. So we've got two different markers here. This is our guide, but I want to see what this one says here. So the first one says breakdown, and then it comes into here where it says
exhortation.
Exhortation. So we definitely want two different ones there. And what I've done is I've just soloed out that guide track so that that's all we hear right now. Sometimes that guide track's kind of hard to hear with the original track going on, and that's the quickest way to do that. Alright, that looks like the end. And what we'll do is we'll just make those match up, and we can actually pull this in as well. That way they're nice and neat, kind of look tight. Alright, going back to the beginning, I hit my one button, goes back to the beginning. We still have the guide soloed out, and so we can quickly go through here.
Intro.
And we can say
all in.
Intro, and don't hit the tab button or that'll happen. Basically your tab button in Ableton will go between a what we call a session view, which is this, or clip view, to the arrangement view. And we want to keep working here in the arrangement view. This next one is the verse.
Chorus. Intro.
Kind of strange put an intro in the middle, but it's just doing that intro riff there.
Verse. Chorus. Bridge. Breakdown.
Now the reason why we are putting these markers in here is so that as we're going through and we're practicing with our band, we need to go to the bridge really quick. We can actually do that. So we can just put our little speaker up here and we can start that right at the bridge. And
breakdown.
Then they'll know right there what they need to do. And we can lead the band much more effectively that way.
Bridge. Build.
And then also that is why I mark in here where it says build as well.
Refrain. Refrain. Chorus. Chorus.
And this is an 8-note
Breakdown.
song, so just bear with me here. I'll have this done in just a second.
Exhortation. Bridge. Bridge.
If you happen to have misspellings in here, you're the only person that sees this in your band, so you can go back through and change those at a later point.
Bridge. Build.
Kind of see, and typically while we're actually playing this live, I will keep this track open so you can kind of see where it says bridge build. I can also see here in the original track, even though a lot of times I'll have this pulled all the way down, you can kind of see where it builds. So it is a nice little hack for when you're leading your band as a music director on stage. You can help
refrain,
you can kind of help lead your band there
refrain,
in the appropriate spots.
chorus, chorus,
And we're almost done. Make sure the last one's going to be ending. So just double check. Make sure it's the same verbiage.
ending,
And there we go. So you hit the space bar to pause it. Most of you guys probably already know that. But there you go. There's the entire song built. Now it is ready to be put into a session view and worked into your set list from there. Alright guys, enjoy, and see you guys next time.